The opinions expressed in the following program are that of the host and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the opinions of CWC Entertainment Group LLC, its affiliates, or any employee thereof.
Yeah. I might say, I might make a one check. Canary Diamond, welcome to the Vincent Radio Show. They do a big y'all. Great music, laughs, and so much more. Hey, you can hear y'all. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Vincent Tucker Radio Show. It's your girl, Myskenna.
It's your boy Yellostar in the building.
What up? It's that young man, Remon.
Hey, it's Charity E.
And we are holding it down for Vincent Tucker. Want to just take a minute to remind you that we all can help prevent suicide. The Suicide Prevention Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress. Prevention and crisis resources for you and your loved ones, and best practices for professionals. Call 1-800-273-8255. Now that we got the business out the way, how's everybody doing today?
Confused. Should we be putting Vincent Tucker on suicide watch?
Oh, I hope not.
I hope not either, but the way that transition went.
You're a little
should we be concerned?
Right, unless you know something I don't know.
Nah, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure everything's okay with Vincent.
Vincent, if you need help, man, you can always call your brother, man.
Right, he has been MIA for a couple of weeks, huh?
Yeah, we should probably check on him.
Well, you know, ever since he turned into he turned into a snack too, so.
A snack?
Yeah, so he got people after him.
I cannot
vouch for it.
No, I can't say anything about his snack size.
Ooh, pause.
Wait, what?
Okay, you went too far. Yeah. Way too far.
Anyway, did you guys have a good week this week?
Yeah, actually, I just went to go see the Comedy Get Down tour. Mm-hmm. They were here yesterday.
Who's on that?
That's the DL
Hughley, Cedric, George Lopez, and Eddie Griffin.
I was that.
Wow.
Who did the best?
It depends on if you're Mexican or not.
Oh, wait, what?
Really well.
No, George Lopez was really funny. And it, like, all of them talked about Trump. All of them talked about, like, Mexicans crossing the border and the kids and the wall and all that. But, I mean, probably for me, like, I like D.L. Hughley's humor.
Okay.
I've always really enjoyed him.
Okay.
So, I think he probably was the best. But, you know, the two kings were last. The two kings of comedy were last, so.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. So, but Sid finished out the show, and Sid, you know, the only thing I was a little missing was, you know how he did the routine with the caddy backing it up and he had the music playing in the background. Uh-huh. He had a little segment like that, but it was not as long, and I would have liked to see him, you know, kind of get down to some more music or whatever. But, but it was classic Sid, it was classic DL, and, Eddie Griffin was funny too, so.
I don't know of that group, which one of those are my favorite comedian, honestly.
It was hard for me to like see, because I wanted to see who is the funniest, but I think just because of DL's past, like, you know, he used to have a show on CNN that I used to watch, like you know, I've always liked his comedy. I would have really liked to see him go in on the audience, because you know how he used to be really good about like picking up people in the audience and making fun of them,
ranking on them.
I feel like that's hard to do if it's like a bigger audience, so that might be easier for a more intimate.
And he's done it in big audiences before. It's just
he did it in a comedy room probably.
I don't know, maybe he's just moved on from that part of his career, because I haven't heard him rank on people in the audience for a while.
Yeah.
So.
And probably, I don't think anyone heckled him either, right? Because typically starts it, and then once you get then it kind of goes from there.
No, not with DL.
DL could just walk up and see something he don't like or something that's weird and be like, oh, okay, we finna talk about your ass.
And mean it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was really good. I enjoyed it.
That's what's up. A lot has been going on here in the news lately. Trump, you know, he never disappoints us.
No, he always disappoints us.
I mean, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I was like,
You mean he never disappoints us in giving us more content to talk about it?
Exactly. He never leaves us with a dull moment. And,
what do you do this time?
well, you know, he's trying to him and all his Republican friends are trying to separate them kids from their parents. Like, I think that's just like so
2,000
cool.
kids.
You got them in like concentration camp. Yeah.
And he said that's the law. Definitely not a law.
At all. And then like, you're worried about, like, see, this is how criminal behavior and stuff like happens, because you are basically stripping these kids away from their parents.
Right.
Now, I mean, if you're gonna send them back, send them all back. Don't try to make it a point to be like, well, we're gonna keep the kids, and then how do we know that these kids are being taken care of?
They're not being taken care of. They only get like what, 2 free hours a day?
To do what?
Exactly.
Like a free time. It's basically like prison. These kids are basically like in prison.
They got yard time?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Almost, so that's almost like what the Holocaust, almost, how Hitler.
Pretty much. Or like when Pearl Harbor happened, how they had the Asian people, the Chinese people in concentration camps here. So I mean, this is something that America has done before. It's not new, and ain't no telling how many of those kids are going to end up in human trafficking and all that kind of stuff. So
exactly, and just the psychological mindset that they're developing, being first of all stripped away, but then also that's how like the ISIS and these hate groups are formed, because you know they are being slandered against, and then then they get in the wrong hands of the wrong people. So you're already angry, and then you get put in the hands of someone that makes you even angrier and train you how to revolt. I mean, we headed up for a civil war here soon.
And I've been saying this for years. Is like, you know, one of my biggest issues with you know the United States going over into the Middle East and invading these countries is the fact that you're making enemies over there that our kids are gonna have to deal with. Like you're creating like a whole history of, you know, building up this hatred towards America. Wow. You know what I mean? And we're not the ones that's gonna have to deal with it. Our kids are the ones that's gonna have to deal with it.
Well, that's it. That's the whole thing about him not understanding that he has to have a plan and has to figure out the right thing to do instead of just doing the thing that I want to do.
Right. He has to have a plan that lasts longer than that goes beyond today. Like,
So do y'all think he's gonna get reelected?
There's a great chance.
I honestly think there's a really good chance.
There's a chance, because kind of the same thing happened with George Bush, but the thing that was different with George Bush, because, you know, people saying that he stole the election back then, but he got more electoral than popular. But I think that the difference is, like, people didn't like George Bush, but nobody outright, like, I don't think I actually hated him. I think he just was a different president. He didn't, you know, have the interest and stuff that I cared about. But I think with Donald Trump, like, there's been such a big backlash with like the Me Too movement and all the women, all the black women that are running for elected office this year, that I feel like there's too much of a rejection of Trump's ideology for him to actually get reelected this year.
Well, I hope you're right, yo. I really cannot look at that man anymore.
Yeah, because I feel like we thought that leading up to his election this time.
Exactly.
And that's the trap. Right. Because people who everybody thought Hillary had the election won, so they're like,
I went to sleep.
Yeah.
I went to sleep that night. I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna wake up. We're gonna have a little woman president.
Yeah. But like, that's the thing. People kind of assumed that she was gonna win, and you know, they didn't get the vote out as much as they needed, and you know, everybody's paying for it. Literally, the world is paying for it.
Wow. Well, we want to hear from you. Make sure you stay tuned with the Vincent Tucker Radio Show. Go download our apps if you haven't. You know, we're on iPhone, Android, and then also the iHeartRadio app, SoundCloud. Pretty much anywhere you can find us.
Everywhere. If you listen to a podcast, you can find us out there.
Say what?
We out here, son.
Stay tuned for the Vincent Tucker Radio Show.
Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop lying. Always lying to me. You lying so much. I know it's not making it hard for me. Just keep on lying. Damn.
It's your girl, Charity E, and I'm back this week with Somebody Lying. So this week I'm gonna discuss, you know, some traveling, because I have to travel somewhat often for work, and you know, usually when people travel a lot, they have their preferred options for, you know, their travel arrangements. So either you're going to do like Uber or Lyft on the way to the airport. You're going to do SPG member, or you're going to like Hilton's Honors when it comes to hotels. And then probably the most important thing is airlines. So which airline are you going to pick for your travel? So in Dallas, we've got a lot of options because we've got major hubs. So we have American Airlines, Southwest, Spirit if you're trying to be cheap. We got Delta, United. There's probably some other ones. And I haven't gotten a Fly Virgin, but they sold out, so I'm kind of mad about that. So anyways, normally I don't run too late to the airport, but I do show up as boarding is starting because I hate sitting and waiting because that's one of my least favorite pastimes. So most
good to know. Right.
I mean, well, I have TSA pre-check, so I can just like kind of breeze through security line.
I got that too.
Yeah. See, it's worth it. $85. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah. So this probably a couple of trips ago, I went to DFW, unfortunately, and their security line was backed up for at least 30 minutes. That's not normal because I normally fly Southwest and I can just go right through, but not at DFW. That's not an option. So I'm kind of late showing up to the gate. It's probably on the last boarding, and the lady looks at me, looks at my bag, and she was like, "Oh, we're starting to check bags now. There's no overhead bin space." Mind you, a family of what, like 6 or 7 just walked on all carry-on bags. But you look at me and my bag, and now it's time to check stuff.
Right.
So now it is the whole deal, and I hate checking my bag because I show up late on purpose because I want to be on time for my meetings. So backtracking on, she's making me check my bag. I walk on the plane, and there's at least 20 to 30 bins wide open. What do you do in that moment? What would you do?
Put one of my bags in.
My bag's already checked. My bag is gone under the plane. You know what I do?
What?
I walk on, I take pictures of all the bins that are open. I tweet American Airlines. And I say, you know what? I'm going to be late because of you guys now. Because y'all system is flawed. Your gate agents like to lie and say that y'all don't have space.
Right.
So I sent a tweet, and their response was, well, we have an automated system that tells us when everything's occupied. Wow. I said, so your automated system is flawed.
Right.
And your gate agents like to lie.
Right.
And I don't appreciate it. What they do, they gave me some points. Because that's what it's about.
It is.
So you feel like you won the battle?
Yes and no, but they still, I just don't appreciate people lying to me, as y'all know. Just don't, I mean, let me go on.
And you got a whole segment about it.
And if it's no room, let me come back.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Let me see for myself.
Right.
She didn't give me the option.
Yeah.
It's okay though, because I'm going to go back to Southwest where we don't have these problems.
Because you don't have to pay for your bags.
Exactly.
Did they make you pay for it?
No. If they did, you know, I would have had more of a fit than I did.
Ain't Southwest the airline where they dragging people off the flight?
No, don't do that. That is United.
Okay.
Don't slander my preferred airline of choice.
What's up?
I thought maybe because you got some new dreads, maybe they were like racial
profiles. Okay, I look just like Bob Marley and them. I could fit right in the family.
See, they had to put your bag through that extra security check.
And now, also, as you go through the airport, if you have a weave, if you're a black woman, they like to check your hair. But I don't think that should be a thing. They're like, oh, well, we gotta check it. You're lying. You don't have to check my hair. What could I put in here? Name 2 things.
Weed.
Come on. I don't smoke weed.
Them oils, they can extract that oil. You know, you can put that oil on your hair and then they can be extracted.
I'm over everybody at this point. That's this week in Somebody Line. It's your girl, Charity E.
I'm sure you can sneak a weapon in there.
Depending on how big your, if you got one of them fro, or if you have like some straight hair, you know, you just never know what you can put in there.
Right.
You might be able to store some, some illegal fruit.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you. You might even be able to put your man in there. No.
We scroll through all the shade. You know I don't have no man.
Plus, you like her man 6'2". Ain't no fitting that weed.
Playing today's best music. Playing today's best music.
Imagine if I never met the broskies. God's plan. God's plan. That's on Tommy Campbell's. We live like Sopranos. And I walk it like I talk it. Walk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it.
You are listening to the Vincent Tucker Radio Show. Have you checked out iHeartRadio's free playlist yet? Not only do we have one perfect for any moment, we also created playlists perfect for any decade. Flashback to the 80s, 90s, or stay right here in 2018. Plus, we're talking pop, rock, hip-hop, and we'll even break it down by the year. Hello, 1999. Y'all, can I get a what? There's thousands of iHeartRadio playlists. Find the one perfect for you. Trust us, there's a free playlist for that. Try it now. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. Check this out. Got something to say? Or you want to make a request?
That's what I want y'all to do.
Then call us at 1-877-99-VINCE and press 1. Bring it back, Mr. Heartbreak.
If you're dating and in a relationship, at what point, not living together, right? So at what point is it okay for the guy to come over and do stuff or make repairs at her house?
Oh, I was like, where is
Wait,
that?
what?
At what point
Can she ask?
It's whenever she can come over and do laundry and clean my house.
Oh,
Whenever that happens, then I can go do the other thing.
that's the only way. Like, but what if she needs, like,
I have needs.
dang,
You know what? I mean, but wait. No, I'm confused. Like,
but so is there a time limit on there?
No.
On that? Okay.
no.
I think in general it is. Like, I don't think you should ask a guy, the first time he comes over.
Obviously. Let me ask you this. If she has something that needed attention, like a male's attention, she shouldn't ask?
Wait.
Besides
hold
sex?
on. What do you mean?
Right.
A male's attention?
Like, for instance, if my grass needs to be mowed, should I have expectations that
Okay.
he'll...
Oh, heck no.
talking
You need to
about
hire somebody for that.
This escalated quickly.
I need my
A
lawn
whole
done.
lawn? Front and back?
I thought it was like, take out the trash.
Like, I have this thing that I can't pick up that I need to throw away.
Like, why am I mowing a lawn for a house that I don't live in?
I'm doing yard work.
That escalated quickly.
And you can't just cut the grass. You gotta weed it.
You gotta edge it
You
up.
gotta edge it up.
That's the whole Saturday.
That's for
Now I gotta do hedges.
that's for the Mexicans that stand out in front of Home Depot.
So, does she expect you to pay for it, or...
No.
I should hope not.
That's your house.
Have I slept over yet? Like, what is happening? Why am I required to do lawn maintenance?
She who pays the mortgage pays the lawn maintenance.
Okay, so what if it was like a plumbing issue? A toilet is stopped up.
She can do that herself. Better get on
Or
your
as a
phone.
guy, I could, well, I don't know, it depends.
Some women
I might not be ready to see her
don't know how to do
So that's
stuff.
the thing. So what are the expectations there? What should a girl expect a guy, like if you're over there, say for instance you just happen to be over there.
If I'm there, then
Right.
I'm just gonna help with, but like for you to call me and be like, hey, I'm
on the
30
other
minutes
side of
away.
town, right.
I need you to get here and take care of this. Do what?
I've done that before, but I think a guy can help you build something. Like if you got something from IKEA, that should be nothing for them. But I'm not gonna ask them to like fix my ceiling fan. Like, no.
Why not though?
That's just too much.
I mean, listen.
Keena is entitled. Okay? She doesn't understand what you're saying.
Because I wouldn't want him to ask me to do something that I really don't feel like doing.
Come over and wash
my dishes. What?
I have
No.
a shirt. I have some buttons that need to be stitched. So go fix my buttons.
Maybe it depends on at the point of the relationship, because at some point you have to get there, right?
You don't have to do
Yeah,
anything.
well, we share the same address.
Oh.
No, well, it don't necessarily have to be same address, but stuff like lawn care.
Right.
Yeah, same address, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That escalated real quickly, but if it's...
You're gonna mow my
Like
lawn.
I need to be there more than 50% of the time.
I guess it depends on what lawn needs to be mowed. But,
And if he did
You
that
should be
for you,
doing that.
yeah.
You mean if it's kind of bushy?
no, I said the front or the back.
You would have somebody mow your lawn?
Stop it.
Wait a minute. I need answers.
Girl, stop.
You would have somebody mow your lawn?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So at what point in the relationship is that okay to ask?
Why are you surprised?
Trimming these bushes.
Like, is that after 1 week?
This is Keena you talking to.
We are talking about the grass.
You know exactly what we're talking about.
The queen of innuendos.
The grass at my house, yes. I expect it to be mowed and edged up. Why not?
By the guy.
Why not?
Keena is crying. Keena is crying.
He does not live there. That's why not.
Oh my goodness.
That means Keena has really asked for this. This is the thing.
Keena has really asked and gotten it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's the real one. Somebody else done did it before. That's the reason what she was saying.
Why would you call anybody to come change a light bulb? Like, it's just some things women can do on
Well,
their
maybe
own.
you want to see the dudes.
Like you said, sometimes some things are just tests.
I get it. You're not all mushy. I get it, Charity. You gangster, but you know, maybe a woman wants.
Then just say I want to see you. Don't be like, hey, come over and.
At some point you want to
No,
be able to
bendy
see,
straw.
hey, can you be my mechanic, my plumber, my lawn man? Like, you have to be able to fulfill all those things. So how do I get to that point of
You
knowing
have
that you
to.
can do these
You
things?
have to.
What roles are you gonna?
Because if you don't fulfill those roles, she got men on the side who play
who
some
can?
parts.
Who will? Who
Yep.
will?
Yep.
She has her mechanic.
not about
She got
me.
her plumber.
They
She
all
got
Got
saved-
a lawn guy. She's
They
got a
all
lawn guy.
saved in her phone.
This is
Mike
not
the
about me.
mechanic.
Okay, this is not about me. We're
She
going to
probably
wrap
has
this
like
up right now.
emojis of like a lawnmower next
Yeah,
to
all
one.
the different emojis.
Right.
This is not about me.
You're like, babe, who
Who
is
here
this?
for
Oh,
you?
that's my mechanic.
VTRS online.
Who gets your hair done? Which one of them gets your hair done, Keena?
I hate y'all.
Only on the Vincent Tucker Show. Now it's time for the good.
Shout out to French Montana, who is officially a U.S. citizen. French Montana has never shied away from his relationship to his homeland of Morocco, especially considering the fact that the French in French Montana is directly a reference to the language and culture of his hometown. So I guess he had been trying to be an American citizen for several years and has finally got that. He's been here in the States since he was 13 years old.
Oh, good for him.
They speak French in Morocco?
I guess so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I
He
did not
also
know
got
that.
his own Ciroc, French vanilla.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess to celebrate his citizenship.
Well, shout out to French Montana.
Right,
It's
especially in
French
these day and times when Donald Trump is putting the little kids in, concentration camps. I guess this is a good time for him to have his
I don't think we're
citizenship.
calling them concentration camps yet, but it's kind of what they are.
I mean, it's
Oh.
basically what they are.
Yeah. Maybe we need to label it like that so people will start caring about it.
Oh, good idea.
When it hits close to home, then when they start locking little white kids up, then they'll say something about it.
We all know that'll never happen.
Nah, they'll just have a school shooting at one of those camps, and
Ooh.
that's when they'll pay attention.
Oh
No, they won't. They don't pay
still
attention
don't.
to the shooting.
That's true.
Now it's time for the bad.
Little Scrappy, one of his friends is actually suing him. I don't know if you all know, but last week they got into a one-car accident where
Right.
they pretty much crashed a vehicle into a utility pole.
Right.
Well, his friend is said to be suing legal action against him to cover the medical expenses and wage losses. Apparently, Casino Roulette I guess that's how you pronounce that, was riding with Lil Scrappy when they got into the wreck. And Scrappy was released from the hospital. He had to have surgery for his foot. But Roulette has apparently spent 3 days in ICU recovering
Oh, wow.
from a concussion, broken ribs, a ruptured large intestine, and bruises on his lungs, liver, and kidney. So
Should he have to sue?
that's what in my mind, that's what I was thinking. I would think that Lil Scrappy
Would give him the money, yeah.
yeah, insurance would kick in at some point.
Y'all know that Love and Hip Hop check ain't gonna cover that.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and he got a new baby, so times is probably hard over there.
Well, yeah, but that's what insurance is for. Unless he just have liability.
Who? The casino guy or Scrappy?
Scrappy, they were riding in Scrappy's car and Scrappy
So you're
was
saying
driving.
Scrappy's insurance should pay for roulette?
Yes.
Yeah, because
Oh,
he
that's
was
the
in the
thing?
car.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Mind
Really,
blown.
Charity?
No, I really didn't.
So
I thought if I was in a wreck, then I would have to use my insurance.
If you're in a wreck and it's your fault or the other people aren't going to cover you, then yes, you have to use your insurance. But if you're in a wreck and you didn't cause it, then usually the person who's at fault, they have to.
And Scrappy probably doesn't have insurance, so thinking about it.
Right.
Love and Hip Hop probably doesn't offer good packages. So
they don't have workman's comp.
Yeah, they don't have any of that.
The cast members on Love and Hip Hop need a union.
Them high deductibles. Wow.
Now it's time for The Ugly.
Closing out today's Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Rich the Kid and his girlfriend Toy Bricks was victimized and seriously injured during a home invasion. A group of thieves broke into Rich's Los Angeles area home. The men robbed Rich at gunpoint and beat him and sent him to the hospital. His girlfriend, model Toy Brinks, was also inside the home at the time of the robbery, and she was also pistol whipped and left with several injuries to her face. So just leave our prayers and everything to them. The LAPD is investigating the incident. Meanwhile, both of them are recuperating at the hospital. It's crazy.
Wow.
Well, prayers up to them.
Yeah, for sure.
It's sad. Well, that's your girl, Myskenna, closing out today's Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Playing today's best music. Playing today's best music.
Came through drippin'. Diamonds on my wrist, they trippin'.
Came through drippin'. Came through drippin'. 901 Shelby Drive. Look alive, look alive. Came up on this side, now they on the other side. Oh well.
Bentley tints on, Fendi prints on. Ayo, I been off. Laura Bincroft. Play say Chung Lee, drop the Benz off.
You're listening to the Vincent Tucker Radio Show. iHeartRadio does something no other app or website can do. Thousands of live radio stations you can take anywhere. Want to listen to that station in Denver? If you're in Philly? No problem. In Atlanta? And you miss LA? No problem. Plus, iHeartRadio lets you create your own custom artist station. DJ Khaled, and this is iHeartRadio. Just type in the artists you love, and iHeartRadio creates a station just for you. With their biggest hits, all commercial free. Free radio and unlimited music, all in one app. iHeartRadio. This is the Vincent Tucker Radio Show. Vincent Tucker Radio Show. Y'all gonna learn today.
Yo, what up? It's that young man Remon, and it's time for today's reality check. Now, today's reality check is going out to all you people out here buying into these rappers' lies. Now, earlier this week, Nicki Minaj did an interview with Elle magazine where she got caught up low-key slut-shaming. In the interview, Nicki Minaj said that she didn't realize how many girls out here were modern-day prostitutes. And that if you give any of these strippers or Instagram models a couple $1,000s, you could actually have sex with them. Oh, the shade is real. While she acknowledges she may have contributed to this in some way, she says that she wasn't actually trying to sell sex. She was actually selling sex appeal, which is the difference. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, she sold sex appeal, but I mean, the only thing that was different for her, I think, is that she was able to make money in another lane versus only being able to make money on Instagram, so she did what she had to do, which is the same thing the Instagram models are doing too.
And we're talking her album cover, right?
We're talking about her whole career.
Oh, okay. I mean,
but I think now she's coming to terms with the fact that she may have contributed to this culture.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why are you girls out here trying to live out what your favorite rapper is spitting out? Ha ha ha, the joke's on you. So you fell into this image that Nicki Minaj was actually out here giving up that Chung Lee Kung Fu grip to anybody out here willing to pay the price of admission. Again, I say, joke's on you. Come to find out, she's actually got the goods on lockdown. She ain't giving it up to nobody. Now don't you feel silly? There are way too many impressionable people in this world out here being influenced by these rap songs. These rappers ain't doing half the stuff they spitting in their music. Alright? So when it comes to rappers, you have to believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. These rappers are not out here living the life that they present and that they live in, and neither should you. You should find you a better role model. why are you looking at Nicki Minaj anyway? Look at Michelle Obama, somebody.
Exactly.
Okay? That's today's reality check. You can take that to the bank.
Ain't nobody got time for that. So check this out.
You know, we had to talk about Florida. It's been a while. It's
This
time.
week in Florida.
This week in Florida.
We just talked about the strippers.
Right? You know how, like, if you've been wronged, like if you have a service received and you don't pay for it, then, you know, you call the cops. They write that person a citation or whatever.
Like a stripper?
Like a stripper. Exactly like a stripper. So this...
Okay, she didn't give me a lap dance. And I paid for it.
Right. So this Florida man, he contacted the police. Investigators at the Putnam County Sheriff's Office in Florida said that Douglas Peter Kelly found out when he purchased some crystal meth from his drug dealer, he felt like it wasn't up to speed.
Oh, wow.
So he felt like he was ripped off. So the 49-year-old contacted the sheriff's office and said that he wanted the drugs tested because he had a bad reaction.
Wow.
Investigators say Kelly wanted to press charges against the person who sold him the illegal drugs. And so the drug unit detectives told him to come on in with your contraband,
Right.
and we'll have it tested for you. Meth is a hell of a drug, because at no point during this entire exchange did he think this is a bad idea. He then drove to the sheriff's office, gave detectives a crystal-like substance wrapped in aluminum foil, and that tested positive for meth. Kelly was then arrested on charges of possession of methamphetamine and taken next door to the Putnam County Jail. He was released Wednesday afternoon on $2,500 bond.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I would have felt better if it was laced with something else, though. Like if they would have tested it, and then it would have been, you know, and then he would have been right, still arrested, but he would have been right.
Now keep in mind, the way that the sheriffs test for the meth, it doesn't test for quality. So he may still have a valid argument. And you know the worst part about this is now, like, he's going to have to go to court, and the person who sold him these drugs, whether they were good or bad, is going to have to worry that detectives are going to try to get the contact. So you sold somebody some bad drugs. He contacted the police, and now you're in trouble because he contacted the police.
Snitches get stitches.
That's what they do. That is what they do.
Why would you? This is illegal. It's an illegal transaction. Why are you getting the police involved?
Why? How high was he?
Oh, he had to be very high.
He was so high, he thought that, you know, he had a bad quality of meth.
Yeah.
He needed to call the police.
In other Florida news, authorities say that there's more. We're still in Florida. We're still in Florida. I had to go a little. I had to go in on them because it's been a while. They say this dude is 48. Daryl Royal Rydell told investigators he was scared when he fled his pickup truck as a detective stepped out of his patrol car, but he got out of the car, was trying to run from the cops, but also chugged his beer in front of the police officer before running.
Why?
So you get stopped by the police, you know you're in trouble.
Right.
He already has 4 DUI stops. He has 1 pending right now, and he got out of the car, chugged his beer, and then ran from the police officer.
Maybe he thought since it was already open, he was like, I gotta finish this.
I'm actually really sure that that's exactly what he was thinking. He's like
I'm not about to waste a good beer.
Right. This is not going to be evidence in the case against me. It's just going to be in my system, and my blood alcohol is going to go up a little bit.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
What? Did he get away?
No, he got arrested.
All right, he didn't get away. Thought I gave him wings or some little Red Bull in there.
He did not have Red Bull. It was just beer, apparently.
Like he just chugged a beer. Of course he didn't get away. No way.
You think you going fast? Right. You're not going nowhere.
Beer does not give you energy to run at all. Oh, Florida, we missed you here on the Vincent Tucker Radio Show. That's This Week in Stupid. I ain't got no more for y'all.
For Playing today's best music. Playing today's best music.
I want you to live your life, of course, but I hope you get what you're dying for. Be careful and be.
Put your phone out, gotta hit them angles. Put your phone out, snapping like you Fable. And you showing off, but it's alright. I woke up in Chris Brown's body. So hot it turned into Freaky Friday.
You are listening to the Vincent Tucker Radio Show. Free iHeartRadio playlists are here, and the critics are raving. John in Nashville says,
whoa, 80s playlists? Even new wave? This is huge.
Izzy906 on Reddit says,
iHeart's got all these playlists from the 50s to now, and I'm like totally the only one who knows about them.
Not anymore. iHeartRadio's free playlists. Want 70s funk? There's a playlist for that. Try it now. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
What's up, DFW? Y'all gotta join us for Tiki's Shaves Ice. 1626 Morrill Avenue, Dallas, right down the street from Roosevelt. Tiki's Shaves Ice. Open daily at 1 p.m. with over 80 flavors of soft, fluffy shaved ice. Tiki Shave Ice will also have all your favorites. They got the nachos, Frito pies, hot dogs, and more. Tiki Shave Ice. 1626 Morrill Avenue in Dallas, and I'm gonna see y'all out there.
Alright, listen up. We want to hear from you. Like the Vincent Tucker Show at Facebook.com/VTRS online. And post your comments now. Straight in your ear.
Hey, what? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Shout out to the degreed up engineer.
You know what? Don't do me. Don't come back from a break and do me, okay? I'm not having it.
Wow, I'm just trying to kick shout outs to you. This is what I get.
When I make mistakes.
It wasn't about you making a mistake. I was just acknowledging the fact that you was degreed up, and we appreciate
your mistake.
Thanks for making me not feel like I'm on an island by myself where she's shooting shots at me.
We were continuing some offline conversation and got caught up. Shout out to all those men out there holding it down and taking care of your family and your kids. And speaking of which, I just wanted to know from you guys, have your dad ever taught y'all something that is not the right way to do it, but the way that he teaches you works or don't works, but it's just like the workaround to the right way to do it? Like, for instance, like my dad taught us, how to make gourmet ramen noodles. Like, I'm sure everybody's like, what? Like, yeah.
Gourmet.
Like, you can make macaroni and cheese out of ramen noodles and Cheetos. What? Mind blown.
That sounds like a prison.
It does sound like some wine in the toilet.
So my dad, he's really good at cooking, but he cannot tell me how to cook anything. Okay. So he'll be like, Cherry, you get these ingredients, and I say, how much of each do I need? He can never tell me. Well, you'll just know. Yeah. You'll look at it, just stir it up. If it look right, then it's like, Dad, that's not how you teach people how to do anything. But I appreciate him for trying, Right. So I thought that counts.
I think my dad was always like, he was always fixing things, so anything that he did was always like fixing stuff. I guess the one thing that he would do is like if he would get this stuff called Bondo. It's like liquid metal. Okay. And you shape it to a car. And if he messed up something that he was doing on the car, he'd just throw some Bondo on it. It's basically like putting super glue to fix something that broke. It's the same thing.
That sounds like the robot test and fix.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Ramon?
No, I can't think of anything that my father, I mean, I'm sure my father, taught me a lot of, ways to get around doing stuff, but yeah.
Just nothing off the top of your head?
Nothing that I can think of off the top of my head.
How it's gonna come to you, one day you're gonna be doing it, and you're gonna be
I learned that from my father.
Yep. My grandfather taught us how to make, back in the days, my grandparents had 11 kids. So every Sunday my grandfather would cook for the entire family. This is like he would feed almost 40 people a week.
He was balling.
After Sunday. No, he wasn't balling. So, we didn't have ranch. But what we had was mayonnaise and pickle juice and some pepper. You put that together, shake it up, and that was our ranch. I'm just saying.
Pickle juice and pepper.
That sounds disgusting.
You gotta taste it.
Sounds lumpy. Was it like, did it move like ranch, or did it just like, I feel like it just blotted like in...
No, because you have to, you put it in an empty bottle, like, and then you put your mayonnaise in, and you put your pickle juice, and you shake it up. And if it is lumpy, then you put more pickle juice in it, and that's how you get the consistency.
I don't know what I was thinking. I was clearly...
Obviously.
Right, but my daddy didn't show that to me, so...
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, don't hate. Next time you eating a salad and you don't have ranch, try it.
I mean,
it works.
My dad he's not very good at fixing things, but once my windshield wiper had to be replaced, so he put one on. I'm mid-storm driving down the road. That sucker just fall right off.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what, Dad? Just stop.
I don't
stop. I don't need your help. But I really do need his help.
Did he want to do it? Was he like, no, I got it?
Yeah, he's like, no, I can do it. You don't have to go to the store. Oh, okay. Right. Hey.
On a windshield wiper, that's
mid-storm. Like, I could not see anything.
Oh, no. Like, have y'all seen Sorry to Bother You Yet? The movie?
No. Is that on Netflix?
No, it's out in the theater. So there's this one scene while they're driving in the car. Mm-hmm. Like, they have the the windshield wipers, like, tied on a string. It starts raining, so they have to, they have to manually pull the windshield wipers.
Sounds like something that Artie would do. Another thing that I learned from Artie that I did this morning, I'm telling y'all, this actually works. So I'm out of like coffee filters for my coffee. So instead of having to go to the store and get coffee filters, just get a paper towel. Put that mug in there.
Yeah.
And just put your coffee in there, and it runs through the water. It works. And no coffee grinds in your coffee.
Does it taste differently than...
Nope.
It's the same.
It's the same.
What about, do you fry chicken at all?
Yeah, I do fry.
So my dad, he fries chicken, but he always shakes it up like the flour up in a plastic Walmart bag. It can't be like a real
Ziploc
bag. It's gotta be Walmart, and it just tastes different.
You gotta taste the oppression.
Taste the struggle.
That extra juice. Any other stories y'all might want to share?
The stories about my dad, they're funny now, like he used to tell us this story all the time about, my sister's car had caught fire one day. It was right after we had sold it to one of our cousins, so he would tell the story about how he drove from Port Arthur to Houston to go pick up the car and all this stuff. And he would tell the story all the time, but like a little detail would change on every time he would tell the story.
Yeah.
And I probably heard it like 30, 40 times. So it was always interesting to see like how the story
changed this time.
Yeah. What's going to be different this time.
Man,
use it for somebody lying next time, huh?
Right.
Do y'all purposely ask him about that just to see how it's going?
No. Right. It's gonna come up.
Right.
It's gonna come up.
Like I remember like one of the most awkward moments that I ever had with my dad. So like this was like back in 2010, I believe. I was getting ready to go in for a biopsy. And I don't know, I think my dad was trying to like put me at ease and make me more comfortable about having to go in for surgery. So for whatever reason, this man decided to show me a picture of his colonoscopy.
Oh no.
So
to ease your mind?
To ease my mind about having to go in for surgery. So I'm basically looking at pictures of his butthole. I'm like, Pops, I don't want to see this, man.
Well,
this is not doing anything for my nerves.
Wait, were you going in for colonoscopy?
No, I wasn't.
Look, that was the message, Keena. That was clearly the message. It was, at least they're not going in your butt.
And on that note, this is He Say, She Say, here on the Vincent Tucker Radio Show. Shout out to you for staying tuned in to the Vincent Tucker Radio Show. It's your girl, Myskenna.
Your boy, Yellostar.
What happens there, young man Remon?
It's Charity E.
And we are winding down the Vincent Tucker Radio Show. Hold it down for Vincent Tucker. It's been a great day, I must say. Man, we have found out some things about our dads that I don't know if I really wanted to know.
We covered
A lot of information. A lot of information.
But that's good that, again, shout outs to all the men that are out there that do step up and take care of their families and their kids and raise them the right way, because it's in those times that we get great colonoscopy stories.
No. And real quick, let's make sure that we shout out to all the single fathers out there who have to raise kids by themselves, because I feel like we oftentimes salute single mothers, but there are also a lot of fathers out there who are doing it by themselves, and they deserve hats off to you guys.
I wanted to ask you this because you made me think about something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's right for those kids that doesn't necessarily have a father, should they get their moms a Father's Day gift?
I think that if the child decides to do something for the mother, that's fine. But I don't think the mother should put any pressure on the kids to recognize them on Father's Day.
I agree.
I mean, there's Mother's Day for Mother's Day, Father's Day for Father's Day. Yes, people, I don't know because I'm not a single parent, but people say you're doing both. But in reality, you need both parents to get, both of those experiences.
Absolutely.
Look, here's the real answer. Depends on how many kids you have. If you have 2, depending on how bad they are, or like 3 or more, then yeah, you should get a Father's Day gift too, because you're not getting enough on Mother's Day.
I get it. And shout out to all those uncle daddies out there that also, help take care of the kids. That may not necessarily be theirs, or it may be theirs. That's the secret. That's why you the uncle.
And real quick, I don't want to receive any Father's Day texts. Like, I know everybody want to be like, oh, you're an uncle or you're a father figure. No, I'm just an uncle and a father figure. It's
not Uncle's Day.
Yeah, it's not Uncle's Day. They have a whole separate day for that. Like, I don't want to receive no Father's Day texts.
Do they? Wait.
Yeah.
There's Uncle's Day?
Yeah.
Dang.
Is there an on-stay too?
Yeah, it's the same day.
Are you lying?
Sure.
Okay. That's what I thought.
I think it's a great idea, though. We should put it into place.
Yeah.
I think so.
We should make cards.
You have to make a lot of cards, though. You got a lot of aunts and uncles.
I do.
Yeah.
Lord knows.
I had a lot of family.
I saw this shirt online. I want to get it. It says the definition of an uncle is like a dad, only cooler. Don't want to get that shirt.
That is a good shirt. Yes.
You can get away from them too.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Send them kids back as soon as they start
Go back with your family. Go back to your parents.
Go back to your mammy.
Oh, wow. Final shout out starting off with Yellostar.
Shout out to my dad. He has shaped the person that I am, and through all my faults and everything that's wrong with me, he is some of the best things about me. So thank you for everything that you've done, and we will always be here for you, no matter what ever happens in the world. That's my dad. That's Yellostar.
I would also like to shout out my father, Albert Ray Johnson, for teaching me. He's taught me a lot of discipline and respect and hard work. And, a lot of, like Yellostar said, a lot of the reason why I am the man that I am is because I had his example, to watch growing up. So shout out to my father, Albert Ray Johnson. Shout out to, all the fathers out there, all of the, grandfathers out there, who paved the way for their children and their children's children. So that's it for this young man, Remon. I'm up out of here. Peace and many blessings.
Right. Hey, shout out to my dad, the first man that loved me. So, because of that, now I know what real love should look like. So, love you. It's Charity E.
Would you ever let your father hook you up?
Yeah.
You would?
He knows me really well, yeah.
Why haven't we done this?
What? Ask my dad to?
Yeah.
I mean, who's he gonna know my age? He's gonna have somebody like 55 and up.
Does he know you're not a virgin anymore?
Cut the mic.
And,
I mean, that would be something if your daddy was like, so did you and the guy I hooked you up with, did you guys,
You're gonna be that daddy, yo.
I might.
Did you give him the blue pill? No.
Right.
And shout outs to Celeste and Deja. You know your mommy loves you. Shout outs to ATD. You know we're a little estranged right now, but I'm gonna always love you. I am a daddy's baby. The time that I have spent with him helped me realize where I get all of my crazy and where all the voices in my head come from, because yeah, they definitely come from Arthur's sperm.
So we can blame him?
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely. I definitely give him all the crazy that goes on. I acknowledge that. Shout outs to Mr. Everything for also stepping up and, you know, being here for the girls, and, shout outs to you for listening to us every week. So, it's your girl Myskenna wrapping up, today's Vincent Tucker Radio Show for the crew. We'll see y'all next week.
Every episode of the award-winning Vincent Tucker Radio Show is produced by Aaron Channel. Executively produced by Aaron Channel, Arkena Dansberg, Cornelius Johnson, and Vincent Heartbreak Tucker. Launched in December 2007, the VTRS is a CWC Entertainment Group LLC production.